going live correctly. It was rejecting the connection for some reason, for the CPU connection, whatever that means. Anyway, I am with you here tonight. I am doing a long slim card, a slimline, long slim, whichever you wish to call it. I thought for Christmas it's quite nice. It's a little bit out of the ordinary, a little bit more special. It's just a different size card really. But I've got my template as well, the envelope template. So I'll be able to show you that and make the actual envelope up as well. Okay, from a full size of cardstock. Okay, let me get you down onto the table and just see where we're going. There we go. So I am using my two, hi, yes, you're live, yes, excellent. Just a bit of a hitch again with this, some connection rejecting. So, no, I don't think it was YouTube, Facebook this time. I think it was just the server. So I'm using this set again here. Let me just do that off there. There we go. So this is the two sets I'm using. I know I've used them a lot, but they are very, very nice sets to go with. I'm using the Noel out of here. We're going to use some of the foliage for stamping. I've got some of the pieces prepared because I thought it might take a little bit longer tonight. But I hope you like what I've got in store for you. Adele, lovely to see you, my dear. Long time no see. So many miles away from us, so far abroad. Anyway, so I'm going to use these two stamp sets. We've talked about those and used them several times. I do need my blocks. I haven't got my blocks to the table, so I'll put those to one side just for a minute, out of sight of the camera. There we go, balance that on there. And I'm going to be using a long slim card. So I have done some prep already. So with a whole sheet of navy card, I'm just going to get this out. Pull one out of there. That's the wrong colour. So if you imagine a whole sheet of navy card and we're cutting this, we're going to score this the whole width. This is for us in the UK. The stateside you might have, because you're slightly shorter and wider than ours, you might have to just juggle slightly. But this is the whole width of our A4, which is 21 centimetres. I have scored this at 9.5. and then cut it at another 9.5. So basically 2 9s, 18, 19. So there is my card. I've scored it ready. Okay, and then this piece can be used for something else. Okay, so that's that one. And my piece of a very vanilla I've got to go on here. I've already cut this at 1 centimetre less. So the card front is now measuring 9.5 by the width, which is 21. And the very vanilla layer is going to be 8.5 by 20. So we've taken one off each side. Okay, inches wise, this would end up being, I've written it down up here, look, 3 3/4 by 7.5. No, by 9 1/4, sorry. So you've got, cut it at 7.5 this way. So this piece would be 7.5 and you'll score it at 3 3/4. And it's 9 1/4 this way. So I'll leave you to work that one out. And then obviously we come down 1/4 inch for you, which is 3.5 by 9. Okay, on the front here. Hi Claire. Yes, Adele, I miss you as well. It's such a long way. Hey. Anyway, you can tune in. You can see me. You can see me here. I think we need another hitch up on a Zoom call. I think the three of us. So where should we start with this one? I'm going to jump straight to my envelope template. The envelope template, this is an old one. It's getting a bit battered. We use this line where the arrow goes to, not the other one. So we are again using a whole piece of very vanilla. My cards have just fallen down. I use my table legs to prop my card and papers up. But I'm getting a bit too busy in there. Okay, so this is my piece of card, a whole sheet. Okay, and so on my template here, I'm going to score down here. I've got the inches and centimetres. So if I turn that around that way, you might like to take a screenshot. If I bring that in a little bit closer for you. There, so you can take a screenshot. I hope that's clear enough. I will go through the, hi Jane, I will go through the measurements. I've got blue for the metric and red for the imperial. So I will score this on my trimmer. It is using for us in the metric versions, it is using a whole sheet of card. So I'm going to score down the left hand side here at 4 centimetres. So make sure we score, not cut. Okay, and then I'm going to move it on 10 centimetres for the body, so that will make it 14. Okay, and score that again, and the rest of this will be 7, so that will be the rest of the flap. Okay, then I'm going to do top and bottom at 4 centimetres. So we're going to go 4 on the top. Okay, making sure it's straight all the way down, and then turn it round and do 4 on the bottom. And that is my envelope ready. Okay, so I'll take the trimmer out of the way and take the template out of the way. So we're going to score all of those edges. Okay, so grab the bone folder. What am I making? I'm making a tall slim card. So it's going to be Christmas, but we're doing tall slim, and I'm doing a template here for the envelope. So this is using a whole sheet of cardstock. Okay, I've got my template, just pop back and do a screenshot of that. I've held it up. So what we're going to do here is going to come in and snip all of these 4 corners. Okay, so we're going to take this in here. I'm going to just taper that on the inside of my fold line. Okay, and then we're going to take this out, the corners. With all 4 corners will be removed. I think I need some glasses on for this. Oh dear. So I'm going to come in up here on the just on the inside of the ridge. So I don't think you can probably see that on here, but it's just the inside of the ridge, and we go right into the centre and take that away. It's going to do the same on here. So inside of the ridge, up to there, just snip it in there and take this piece away. We just want to get rid of those nasty ridges, really. And the bottom 2 as well, or the top 2, whichever way you like. You're going to be able to have a choice as to which direction you'd like this envelope to go. Okay, I do it both ways. So I will show you each one and then glue one of them. So we're just taking away all 4 corners of the envelope and go right into that corner. And just snip that last right up to the tip. My large scissors haven't got such a sharp tip on them as the Stampin' Snip. So don't need those 4 bits, so I'll pop those away. Okay, so get my glasses up. They can go away. And there is my envelope. Now you can have it this way round with the flap coming down, which is nicer for our style of envelopes. Or you can have it more like a business card setup, whereby this is the envelope. You bring this one on outside, stick all of these down, and then this becomes your flap. You need to decide which way you're going to go so that you know which corners to round. Okay, so I'm just going to go and get my corner rounder and my blocks. Now my corner rounder is a very old one. It's a black one from Stampin' Up. Very, very old. Now what we do, we insert this into the corner, and I always turn it over from the back. There is a tiny little ridge on this one. There is a newer one, but when you have something that does the job, there's no need to just go and buy another one just because the model changes. Okay, it's like changing your car or your phone just because the model's changed. If it's still perfectly okay and it's working, there's no need for another one. So I'll do those, all the corners, and this one's very, very minute edge coming off here. It really doesn't take much off at all. Okay, when we had the envelope punch board, that had a really nice corner rounder on the back of it, so that was quite handy. So I'm just taking all of these off here, making sure we can take all the bits out. And it literally just fits on the black one. It really just fits in that little junction in there, so you know exactly where you've got it. It's one of those, obviously, from the back, we like to use from the back, not the front. That one's not quite as nicely as I'd like it, but I think we have actually got the whole corner off there. Okay, so here is my envelope. So I'm going to put some tape on here, and I do have the tear and tape. Oh, watch on catch up. That's fine, Maxine. So I'm going to do it this way on because I want the edges to come in. I want this to be my top flap to close the card. Okay, so I am going to put the tape on these edges, on here and here, and here and here. And then this will be the flap that comes down. Okay, so we will come in, the opening will be here. So I might not actually need tape because I'm building it now. I'm going to use some of our Stampin' Seal Plus. Don't use this very often. You don't see me doing a lot with it because I do love my Tombow. But for quickness, you just push this along so you've got a sticky on the end. Maybe that one's run out. That's that. So again, just check where the height of that is coming to. So I'll put my nail down and I know it's got to come up to there and there. Okay. And then the same this end, just so I know roughly where. So it's just going to come along there, along here. These rollers are made up of lots of little tiny strips. I don't know if you can see those on the camera. If I get the angle, it's just lots of little strips going all the way across there. So when they come off from the roller, when you take it away, it's quite easy for it to remove the ones from the next piece. So when you go to use it, there's actually nothing on there. So you just have to help it and just push it along a little bit. But that's fine. So I'm just testing my envelope, my card here, my blank one, to make sure it goes in okay. I always put mine in, when I put them in, the loose pages downwards. So I want to make sure it's nice and snug in there and that can come over. Okay, to enable the person to seal this, because obviously some of us do sell at craft fairs, I like to put a piece of tape, double-sided tape, along this edge, okay, and then just chop that off neatly at the end. And then that will enable the recipient, if you sold this, then you would already have the tape on there for them to pull away and seal it when they're ready. Okay. I love the envelope punch board as well. I wish they'd bring it back. I'm with you, Shaz. Okay. So on this one, now I've gone for music because it's Christmas. So I want to use the Christmas notes, the music notes on here. And I do know where the treble clef is. The treble clef is this side and the bass clef. So I know that this is the right way up. So if you have this folder, look for those giveaway symbols on the left there. Treble clef and bass clef. Okay. Just going to move that right to the edge there. Okay. And so it's nice and straight. We don't want it, music going crooked when there's a straight line to it. Okay. So I'm going to run it through like that. Now, you might ask what happens to this piece at the top. We can't just turn it round because the music will be upside down. Okay, so my design today, I'm going to actually move this along and go for the middle. So I'm going to have the music line here. So I'm going to have the bass line still. So I've got the treble clef and the bass clef in. I'm going to run that through. I'm going to cut it and then I'm going to do the other piece. So if I bring my big machine up, take clear plate off, we don't need that. We don't need those. In fact, we just need this one. Oops. Now, if you don't want to have a join going through the middle, you can use something different like the snowflakes. But I like to use music. Music just goes well for Christmas. And I think I've said before that the music is actually proper music on there, and it is Deck the Halls. Okay, I'm just going to run that through. I say Deck the Halls. I got a feeling I said that for the paper. Maybe that's not. Let me see what this is. I'll try and I'm not going to sing it, but I do recognise it, the music. So I'm going to just cut that just across here because it needs to be straight. So I'm just going to grab my little trimmer, okay, and just pop that on there. And then pop this little piece in the same way. So we've got the treble and the bass clefs together. And then they will line up properly together. Okay, bring this back through, take the trimmer out of the way and place this on the top. Hi Catherine, haven't seen you on here my dear. We have Australia in the house. Lovely to see you. How's the farm doing? I'll pop that down for a sec. Okay. So if I was to put this on here, this could be my bottom piece of my music. This could be my top piece of my music there. So the treble clefs and bass clefs run down there in line. Okay. And then this join here, I could put a piece of tape on that just to hide the join. So if I put the tape on here first, I'm going to put some double-sided on here, like so. It's just a little bit stronger than sellotape, or the Scotch tape that I use won't really hold it as well as this will. So I'm just going to pop that across that join. So just gluing it back together again, really. So get that in the middle, and then through there in the middle, and then snip that off right level with the edges again. Okay, and there we have it, and that will be good to go on there. Okay, so put that one out of the way. So just conscious on here that there's a fraction of a little tiny piece out on there. Busy harvest season. Oh, look at that, strawberries, raspberries, oh, garlic to dry, lovely. I love garlic. I haven't ruled out coming over at some point. It's still on my bucket list to get to Australia. So I'm just taking a little shaving, literally minute amount on those scissors off the edge there, just where that join is, because we don't want it to be visible. So if I just taper that off very, very slightly, it is literally just a gnat's whisker. You know I like my gnat's whiskers. There we go, so tiny you can't really see it. Okay, and then sticking that on my base card. Okay, we've kind of got that looking fairly where we want it to be. Now, I'm not going to stick it down at the moment because there's a reason I might do two different designs. I have got some pieces pre-cut here. Now, I'm going to use this is from the two stamp sets that I just showed you, the Christmas Classics and the Joy of Noel. Now, I wanted to have this an upright card, but I want to show you that had you not got music going one direction, you could actually have that going across the page like that. So you can have it upright or down, or landscape, portrait landscape. So I have got the words Noel pre-cut, but I'm going to put some foliage in here. I've got some pre-cut, but I'm going to have an assortment of colours here. And I'm going to ask if anybody remembers seeing, oh, don't tell me. Where's the O gone? There, hiding. Okay, there's the Noel. So that's kind of going to be one of my main features on there. I will get this one stuck down because I think this is going to be the best way. I was looking at, in my head I was thinking about stamping some foliage. I've got the Stampin' Blends here to colour in, but that could be another design on another day. Actually have the greeting through the middle, covering the join, and then you could have the foliage going that way and foliage coming this way. But we could actually put those on 3D. So I might kind of just start that off. Let's get this down onto the card. I'm just going to make sure it's nice and straight. The edges are good and straight to go. And I will use this with Tombow. Yes, fresh fruit. I love fresh fruit. I grew up in a very small farm as well. And it was lovely. Our meal times were for dessert. Grab a bowl and go and pick your own dessert. And we'd just go out and pick a little bowl full of strawberries or raspberries or whatever we fancied. So we're quite lucky in that respect. Okay, so I've peeled the tape off over that join. That was temporarily holding it together just while we place this down. And get that in the centre. The Tombow gives us that little bit of wiggle room, and I think we're good to go on there. Press that down extra hard on the join. Okay, like so. Little bit of glue there. Just going to take a slurp of drink. I just made a cup of tea before I came on air. I haven't actually had a cup of tea. Oh yeah, I did have one today. I hope he did make me one. This is going to come on the centre here on foam pads. So I'm going to start that off coming upright. The You're not going to be able to see this on here, are you? Black on, navy on black doesn't really work very well. So I'm going to put that on here. This is going to come down the centre and we're going to put that onto foam pads. But I want to stick this down here while we've got the smaller piece. I usually build upwards. So grab my tweezers. But because we're going to mount this, I'm going to put these flat. Otherwise we struggle with the postage over here to make sure that they get in, go through our postal system. So I'm just going to grab the Tombow and just pop this on here, like so. So that could be another card for another day to do that, do a portrait card instead of a landscape card. Same colours, but we could just totally rejig this. I'm just going to line them all up so I know that they fit nicely. I think they will because they fit normally on the inner label piece. There we go, they will be fine. So I'm going to stick the others down. I start at the top and the bottom. Sorry, you can see that okay. Started on YouTube but switched to. There's more chatter on the Facebook side, but I think a lot of people say it's clearer on YouTube. The screen picture is clearer. I've no idea why that would happen. Okay, by placing them, just popping them in place, then you kind of get to the gist of where they're going to go, so you don't go a little bit outside your territory, so you end up with a piece you can't place because it's too close. Okay, so I'm going to put that one in there, and I'm trying to go evenly left to right as well. Okay, I pre-cut these from the glitter. These are the silver and the gold glitter. They are in the online exclusives, and you get one sheet of each. Oh, I've stuck these with adhesive. I should have shown you. They are actually, I don't know if this is the old gold or the current, but you can actually, there is adhesive tape on the back there now, so you can just stamp them, die cut them, and peel off your backing, and you're done. So that's a good bonus point with those new ones. It's particularly because we tend to use the gold and the silver quite sparingly. We like to be frugal with it. So we just doing little accents really, small accents. So put a couple there and a couple more down the middle, like so. I'm not going to attach the little tiny pieces. Just going to leave that like that. Bring my card back and then go top to bottom, and I want this one to be fairly straight and fairly even. The ends of the gold will fall off the edges. That's not a problem. Okay, does that look roughly in the middle? And left to right, there we go. So press those 4 down. Now for the rest of it, I've actually got some pieces of foliage. Now I based my colour palette today on an old set. I suspect some of you are still with me. Can you remember our beautiful set? It was Peacock, Gleaming Christmas it was with. And I got a feeling that that was 2019, hazarding a guess. And I love these colours. I don't know if these will work like this, but I'm just doing a few pieces out here, just because those colours were in my head. And I had the Peacock and the Old Olive out earlier for some blending I was doing. So I'm just poking these little pieces out of the middle with my tweezers. Okay, they can all come off there. And then I have a couple of these. I don't know how many I want to put on here yet. It's all in layout, and you just juggle all your pieces underneath accordingly. So just push those through. But these colours, the navy, the peacock and the old olive, work so nicely on those papers. Useful when watching colouring. Yes, definitely. So just put that one out as well. So all of these little bits can go. I have a lap tray in the other room, and I do like to craft on my lap. I do like to do what I can on my lap, but I'm conscious that it's not as good for you as sitting upright at a table. So I was just bringing some clusters of these leaves in, just to see what they look like. Okay, we can cut more, but I just cut an odd couple of each, just to see a little cluster there, little cluster down here. They're not stuck in yet, they're just laid in just to see what we like. And then these ones are the bigger ones. These are a double branch here. but you can actually split these down the middle. I want a little bit of gold breaking those up. So I've tried to do different textures as well with the 2 different golds. So because I've got Stampin' Dimensionals under here, I can only get these in so far. You've seen me do this before, and if you need to, you can chop off the bottom tails. I'm not sure where I want to put them at the moment. I want to kind of get these under here. The colours really lift the card. Yes, without the colours, Shaz, they were quite plain and boring, weren't they? I want to kind of get this underneath here, but I'm getting caught up on the pieces. I can get those down and under there like so. I think that just highlights a little bit. I think we will try and get those under. But I am going to just chop off the tail down the bottom here. These are joined during the middle here, so I won't separate them, but just by chopping off a little bit, that will help me get them underneath. So just snip about that little piece there off. Like I say, they won't fall apart, but I am going to just twist this on its side to help me get that underneath there. So I want to lift up the little berries and then just lighten that through there. Let's get these big ones down first so we know where they're going. They could have a little bit off the tail as well. So it's going to come that way. I loved these papers when we had them before. It was Gleaming Christmas, I think it was. They were gorgeous. And if I was to let you into a secret, I do still have a little bit left. We had some plain foils that went with them as well. They were gorgeous. The set did come back actually for a second Christmas. So just to get these under, I'm chopping that one as well. But you've got the little bit of green, but you're bringing back a little bit of memories. Just wiping my Tombow over the edge here, just dabbing that on very, very slightly, and having that come under here as well. Oh, get under there. I'm going to have to cut a bit more because the Tombow, the 3D pad is right under where I want to move it. I can lift it off and then pop that under there, just so there's a bit of colour, and then push it down again. Okay, so then when you're turning the other way round, you want to do the same with this. I just turn the mat round. Okay, but we'll take the ends off these 2 as well, just a tiny little piece, and those ones a little bit more. Okay, so this one will just get ready to pop under that way, and we're just doing a mirror image really. There we go, that's all it needs. So this one can come under here a little bit more, kind of symmetrical with that one, and then this one will come in more at the top. It doesn't matter if your little pieces at the bottom there are uneven or got part of one, because you're not going to see it. You can have that tucked underneath, and it's just going to push down. Okay, while we're here we can do the gold. So I'm going to bring this one under here. And just bring that so that they just kind of like wisping out from the side. So you know exactly where I'm going to place it. Okay, that one comes there. So you've got some detail coming out here, and we're just leaving those nice and loose. Turn it around, and then we're going to do the same this end. Okay, and we're going to come in there under the middle. I did chop the ends off. So gem wise, I am going to put some gems on here, and I'm going to use the Stampin' Blends to colour the clear ones. Okay, just again a little bit wispy, just coming out of the ends there. Put those little bits out of the way. There we go. Oh bless. Yeah, we had a lovely time when Ruth was here. It was really good. Okay, so there is the card kind of coming together. Just a little bit off the bottom of the camera there, aren't I? So there's the card coming together, and you've got the music notes on there. Now the join on here, you can't really see because I've covered this side with foliage. We've got this through the middle. If you wanted to put something there, we could put another little branch if that worried you. But I have got the other piece to go in, and that is... These are the papers that I was kind of like inspired by, the vanilla and the Night of Navy. They are, sadly, very sadly, they are actually now fully sold out, I think. So they were out of stock and they came back. And then they've gone again. So I would like to have a little tuft of ribbon or a little knot or something. I'm going to try a bow. So I'm going to do a bunny ear in this hand, turn it over and make a loop in that hand. Okay, and then it's quite stiff ribbon because it's got the golding on it. And then I'm going to cross my 2 loops over and bring this finger, brings it through the middle, and then I pick that up and that makes my bow. You just have to shape it a bit afterwards. Don't let go of the tails. Okay, and then when you've got your bow there, you can literally tighten one, pull the tail and tighten it. And then, because it's got all those glittery bits, obviously it does make it a little bit harder to maneuver with this one. But I hadn't got any cream ribbon and I thought this would just break it up a little bit. I like to pull these down and make that knot quite small. And you just slide those through and then just twist it as you're tightening it. Okay, just play with it. There's no right or wrong way until you like it, like the finished result. Okay, put that one down a little bit. So I'm just playing with those loops. Okay, so there we've got the 2 loops. So we could put that on here. It kind of blocks off my Noel a little bit. But do we want it there? Might actually want to put it at the bottom here, I think, and put another little piece of foliage there. Let's just trim this off with the large scissors. Okay, when I put a bow on, I like to do the tails downwards like this, so it's, if they go that way, it's like kicking it out sideways. If you come downwards, it kind of like goes in line with the top end. Okay, so there's a little bow. Just work out where we're going to put that one. And if you look at your bow carefully, you will find that you'll have a right and a wrong side. You will like one side more than the other, and you'll be able to see if there's a right and a wrong side to your ribbon, as to which way you'd like it to be. So I think I'm going to like that one at the bottom here, down there. It's covering a bit of that foliage up, so maybe we put that on the side. Okay, the gold side upwards, and gold on both sides. Okay, so we will use some glue dots, mini glue dots, just on the inside of our roll. So I'm going to put 2 of these because it's a bigger ribbon. I like to put one to the left of the knot and lift it off, and then one to the right of the knot. There. Squeeze that, and then they will go on the corner there, across that corner. Okay. We can tweak these if we want a tiny little fraction off there. Oh dear, come off. There we go. Got little round bits of gold everywhere. So that's those ones done. You got bits everywhere. So what should we put up here? Just a little tiny piece of foliage. What can we run through quickly? Let's go back to the dies. Let's see what we've got. I do know what we could use actually. Let me just get one other thing. This one here. I've used this several times on cards. This tiny little stamp here is beautiful when it's die cut. Stamp and emboss with a gold foil, gold embossing powder, and then die cut it and do that on vanilla, and then just bleed in the navies, a little bit of navy with the Wink of Stella. I had the Wink of Stella with me ready to use, but because we've done different things, I think it's nice as it is. But what I've got here is the double leaf punch. These are really nice, and these are little filigree pieces that you can do with offcuts of your gold. So if I pop this in the trimmer, coincidentally it's just going to be the right width, but I like to get as maximum use out of it as I can. So I'm putting the stalk right down here in the scrap and right as far as I can to the edge, and I'm going to punch those out, okay, and see what we've got here. This is the same gold that I use for the filigree, so we could have a little piece out there that kind of just disguises that seam. Then we've got another little piece here we could just tuck underneath. somewhere, just to make a little bit more of an accent. But we've got the gold underneath, so maybe want to do that on the corner here. Tuck that underneath, and so it just comes out a little bit. So I put that on the back here, the tombow. We've got a long stem on here, but I managed to hide most of that, so that's good. It's going to come under here, but it's going to sit on top of those ones. So it's just going to come in and show its face, but lean on the navy pieces. Then this one could do with something else with it. That little piece of green, you see, I've cut off, but that's too small. I could do with something else in the navy. So let's try one of the other colours. I'd like a filigree type something. So I might go for another little piece of green. I've got the baby machine here as well with me, so let's just cut a little piece of green. So in these dies here, we have these lovely little filigree pieces, and we've got the big. That's too big. I want a little bit of just dainty. Let's just cut a couple of pieces of that, and we'll put them on there. I had some remnants here somewhere. Which colour do we think is going to look nice coming out of that side? That could be poked in quite a way. Oh, green or pretty peacock, what do you think? Let's do a couple of each. These are the ones I cut earlier, look, so we've got a piece of card there. We'll do these, we'll do some of each because we can always use them on another project. And then we'll put some sparkly gems on, and I think we'll be there. Not bad. Would have taken longer with the colouring in. Get my brush. So this is the brush that goes with the take your pick tool. I have two of these, and I have one so I can have the brush and the pokey tool together, because if you need one, generally you're going to need both ends. You're going to need the pokey end just to release those sometimes from the die when it's a bit struggling a little bit. Okay. And with these, if it doesn't all come out loosely, come out perfectly, it doesn't matter as long as the top end is, because we might be chopping off the bottom. So I'm not too worried about those. So in fact, I'm just going to make that come off there and see how this one's done. There we go, they're both out. Put those away so we don't lose them. And I just wriggle this, just gently wriggle it. Yeah, I should have maybe run this a couple of times up there. They're all okay. Don't think that middle piece has gone through properly. But like I said, if I chop this off down here, okay, because we're only going to tuck the ends under anyway, that will be fine. Just poke out the middle pieces here. Bring that back. I just poke out the holy bits that are supposed to be gone. Those two. Take that one through. See why I had some done beforehand. It's a bit boring while you're just watching pieces being poked out of dies, isn't it? Oops. There we go. Just those last pieces. I only ran it through the once, I think, didn't I? And sometimes I find it's better on the bigger one. Baby is just so good for doing things online like this. One more, because it takes up less table space. Okay, get those pieces out. Shake the bits away. Oh dear, we shook him as well. So I'm going to take just the end off that gold one, and I'm going to tuck that back under here. I want to kind of disguise that seam so he can come along there and have that leaf running along that edge. Okay, so we're just going to take those underneath. A little touch of that. Very little needed. Just going to come under there and lie along the seam. Okay, and nobody's going to be any the wiser. Because the focal point, your eye tends to lend itself to the top, I'm going to put the biggest piece at the top. So that can breach that gap in there. Tuck that one in, or even the other way. Like so, just to overhang a little bit. Tombow down the back. And then in. Just lift those gently so it comes underneath there. And just so that you can see all the detail, and then this one is just going to come and accent a little bit more on that side, I suppose. It could go there, couldn't it? Take that one out. They're supposed to be punched out. I do like them punched out. I don't like to see half and half. Okay, so I'm going to turn this round so I can get to the angle I want and just have that. So it's kind of symmetrical, a little bit more greenery coming out of there. And there we go. I really like that. Mat out of the way. I just would need my gems now. I thought I got those out. Maybe we didn't. I was being a bit tidy earlier and put a lot of things away. So now we look in here and see what we've got by way of gems. Now these ones are actually, I think these are Misty Moonlight. Oh, it doesn't say in there, but they are a blue, but they're not the right shade of blue, I don't think, tonight. So we've got some little gold ones. They're perfect. These are the Festive pearls. Those ones are a little bit too big, or we could colour these in, but I think the clear like this, even with the blue colouring or the greens, I think it's going to look better with these gold ones, because it's going to go really, really nicely. So let's take this out. I'm just going to put a few randomly ones wherever we fancy. Pick up my tweezers. Where are we? There we go. So just going to, using my tweezers as a hockey stick, and I'm just going to randomly put them on here. We want odd numbers, so I think I'm going to go for where do I want to go? I don't want to go so too tight a triangle. Yes, there maybe. Decision. Oh, just putting them randomly is hard sometimes. It's like people playing, like those of you who know Les Dawson, the comedian, a long while ago. He used to play the piano, but he played the piano badly. And to play it badly, he'd just clash on certain notes. It's a huge skill, because you have to know how to play properly and then put the wrong ones in the right place. Oh, peacock. What did you think? I've only just seen the peacocks coming up. But anyway, we've got a bit of green in there. I think that's enough on that card. I think it's really pretty. The little fragments on here are from the ribbon, because these little fragments will come off. They will fall off. But that just looks nice. We have got odd numbers because we've got a group of 3 and a group of 3 on there. Okay, and then for the liner, I would put something in on the liner. I'd put another piece of the designer series, vanilla. You need to be able to write on it, don't you? So I probably would actually do 2 pieces that same size. Okay, I have an idea. So this was 8.5 wide. For the layer. So if I do 8.5 again now, they will look uniform. They will come inside the same. And then we went this way, it was at 20, not 21. So we're just taking 1 centimetre off this end. Okay. Now, because of me being me, I like to have a little bit of decoration on here. So what I'm going to do is, I can't do the top end, so I'm going to do the bottom end. I'm going to put this upside down again, but only do a little tiny piece. Say like that, I think. In fact, 1 stave, look. We do 1 treble and 1 bass clef, and try to keep them as straight as we can in the folder. And then I'm going to run that through. Okay, that will give us a little bit of music, so it continues through onto the inside of the card. I hope that stayed still. There we go. Take the plates off. Back is so much clearer on YouTube. Oh, bless you. And I don't know why that is. No idea why that is. Oops. It's gripped that so tightly, I've got to get it out. I think it did slide a little bit, but it's not a problem because you've got 2 staves of music there, which is going to look really nice. Just giving that a little bit of detail on the inside here. Still lots of space to write. Okay, so we just run the Tombow around there. You can see I'm very sparing with this. Tiniest little bead and a little scribble down the middle. Okay. There we go. I think I know who's going to have this one. We've got an elderly aunt in hospital. She needs to see texture, and I think that would be quite nice for her. Not in hospital, in a nursing home. So I think she'll be having that one this year. Okay, but there we go. We've got a finished card, and we've got a nice liner inside. Now we've got the envelope that we did over here. I put to one side. Where did I put it so safe that we wouldn't? There we go. And there is my envelope. I wouldn't emboss this at all. I might put some stamping on here. I wouldn't do it on the envelope. I would not leave loose leaves on here when it's going through the mail. It's okay if you're giving something in person, but I wouldn't do it on postage things at all. So I would just turn that one upside down, and then I would place that in the envelope. And then when you're ready to send it, you take the tape off, and that just comes down like so. Okay, it is a bit bulky, but it's perfect. It's the right size to fit the envelope. Oh, bless Gillian, thank you. I really love these papers, and like I said, my colours were inspired by the Gleaming Christmas papers. They were just so beautiful, and I do still have some to use up. And I am a bit of a paper hoarder, but I do need to use my stocks up. So who knows? Somebody might be getting some of those this year. I do need to use things up, but I've got this year's to use up, so I'd rather use this year's. Anyway, I'm glad you enjoyed that. I've really enjoyed doing it. I had in my mindset what I wanted to do, so I'll bring you back to me and say thanks for joining me. Take my glasses off. There we go. Oh, bless you, Jane. Thank you. You can go back to the beginning and you can take a screenshot of the envelope layout. So that will make a DL card from our standard A4 card. The Americans just need to take down 1/4 inch in the layers and just rejig it for the size of your cardstock. So what you can do. I've used the thin weight of the Very Vanilla, the standard Very Vanilla, not the thick, because it needs to be thin enough to make an envelope out of. It's a wee bit on the thick side. We make envelopes out of paper, designer series paper as well, but this was just purely no papers on this one because the papers have been sold out. So whilst now they've gone, it's nice just to show people how you can do this just with your cardstock, and that's all it is, an embossing folder and some cardstock. Okay, and the dies. It doesn't need the papers on there. The papers are beautiful, but when you haven't got them or can't get access to them, then use what you've got. And I thought that did that nicely, and it worked, which was good. It's always a bit of a gamble when I mostly don't make samples up beforehand. I just have an idea up here. Okay, thanks for staying with me, and look forward to seeing you again on Sunday. No. I probably won't be live on Sunday. I might have to go live on Monday night instead this week. I will keep you posted. Okay, yeah, there's a reason why, and I'll tell you if that happens. I'll give you notice. So if you don't see me on Sunday, then you know that I will be back on Monday, and I will put a note up on Facebook to say so. Okay, take care and keep warm. It's been a really cold snap here in the UK, in our part of the UK. I've had the fire lit today, but I let it go out this afternoon, so I've left it, and I'm now going back into the lounge and where there's a little fire in there, and that's cosy. Okay,